Yeah, this is Sanity. Good day. We welcome you all to the valedictory session of today's international conference. Dr. R. Fahima Sultana, Assistant Professor, Department of Accounting and Finance, will now present the report.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here on the one-day virtual international conference on digital transformation in finance, banking, and corporate sector, a journey towards assimilating Industry 4.0 in collaboration with Department of Commerce, University of Madras, and Tashkent Institute of Finance, Uzbekistan. I'm highly delighted to give a brief report on today's conference. The inauguration was conducted this beautiful morning, 15th March 2022. The inaugural address was given by the chief guest, Ms. Senija Sipek, Dame of Honors, international tax expert, lawmaker, project leader, and head of tax risk analysis at Ministry of Finance, Croatia. 2 technical sessions were conducted simultaneously. Dr. Enkaleda Lulaj, Faculty of Management in Tourism, Hospitality and Environment, State of Kosovo, was the guest speaker for the technical session 1. And Dr. Biju John M. Dean and Head Research Department of Commerce and Management Studies, St. Thomas College, Kerala, was the moderator for the technical session 1. Dr. U. Hussain, Head Department of Economics and Business Studies, Maznoon College, Muscat, was the guest speaker for the technical session 2. And Dr. Nirmala Mohan, Head Department of Commerce, Shift 2, Madras Christian College, Chennai, is the moderator for the technical session 2. The eminent resource person gave an in-depth knowledge on the digital transformation in this digital era. And the presenters gave great insight about finance, banking, and corporate sector. A special thanks to the valedictory guests, Dr. Islam Kulab Alim Nazar, Vice Rector and Professor, Department of Economics, Tashkent Institute of Finance, Uzbekistan, and Mr. Anbaraj, General Manager, Karur Vysya Bank, for their gracious presence. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Anita, Assistant Professor, Department of Accounting and Finance, will now introduce the guest speaker, Dr. Islam Kulab Ali Nazar. Over to you, ma'am.
It's my great pleasure to welcome our esteemed chief guest, Dr. Islam Ali Nazar. Islam Kulab is the Vice Rector at the Tashkent Institute of Finance. He completed his master's degree in public finance from Tashkent Institute of Finance and his bachelor degree in finance from Terminus State University. His professional membership and affiliation includes Editor-in-Chief, Indian Journal of Economics and Finance, IJEF, Editor-in-Chief, Member and Editorial Board of the journal, International Journal of Advanced Study and Research Work, Member of the Editorial Board of the journal, Society and Governance. The list of books he has authored, co-authored, and edited is almost never-ending. A few to state: Public Administration Textbook, Tashkent Academia, Issues of Improving the System of Formation of Modern Leadership in Uzbekistan, Conceptual and Scientific Theoretical Basis of Activity of the Center of Management of Professional Growth of Management, Staff, and Civil Servants. He has professionally trained at various programs on the topic like Basin Management, Local and Regional Economic Development, Regional Development Program, etc. He is a vast researcher who's covered topics including development of special educational areas for training specialists in the field of public administration and professional development of civil servant, as well as the introduction of modern methods of assessing the effectiveness of their activities. Development of mechanism for midterm financial planning of the state budget, focus on results as an important factor in improving the efficiency and effectiveness of the budget process of the Republic of Uzbekistan. The direction for ensuring the proportionality of budgetary revenues at different level, modern term forecast of state budget revenue in ensuring sustainable economic growth. He is a proud recipient of Ministry of Higher and Secondary Education of Republic of Uzbekistan, the 3rd degree of Diploma of Republican Scientific Student Olympiad in Finance. We're extremely honored and humbled to have Mr. Ali Nazar to proceed over the event today. We welcome you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. A. Jayalakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of Accounting and Finance, will now
Sir, can you continue, sir?
Islam Kulab, sir, the session is yours. We would like to hear from you.
Yes, of course. Good afternoon, dear Dr. Gauri, Mrs. Xenia Spek, and all other participants. It's a great pleasure to me. I'm talking at the virtual international conference on digital transformation in finance, banking, and corporate sector, a journey towards assimilation industry 4.0. Dear participants, Uzbekistan is one of the developing country which is going on open market economy nowadays. One of the priority of our policy is digital economy. So I think today's conference is very important, and it will be a great after this conference. We make the opinions. We will discuss how to develop the digital economy. I hope it will be a great opportunity to develop our knowledge and our meanings in this sphere. I'm as a vice rector of Tashkent Institute of Finance. My institute is ready to collaborate in the future. Thank you very much. Good luck to all the participants of the conference.
Thank you, sir. Dr. A. Jayalakshmi, Assistant Professor, Department of Accounting and Finance, will now introduce the guest speaker, Mr. Anburaj.
Good day, all. It's my privilege to introduce this guest speaker for this valediction, Mr. V. Anburaj, General Manager and Group Head of Karur Vysya Bank Limited, Central Office, Karur. He started his career at junior level, but with his hard work and high determination, he reached the current position. He is a hardcore finance professional with a strong academic record. He has over 35 years of experience in the field of banking and finance, with both business and operations exposure. He holds an exceptional leadership quality and networking skills in handling corporate relationships. He is also an expertise in retail and credit corporate lending, and he is also associated with business process and re-engineering. So thank you for your presence here. Over to you, sir.
So thank you for your nice introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, madam. It is my pleasure and privilege to participate in this one-day international conference on digital transformation in finance, banking, and corporate sector. So indeed, representing from that banking sector, so it is my privilege and I wish to share some of my thought out of my own experience in the banking industry with the participants in this conference. In fact, that topic you have chosen today is that a very apt one, because everywhere we are seeing that digital is ruling, not only banking and finance, almost in everybody's life also being controlled by the digital revolution. So we all know that we came across different phases in our day-to-day life. That if you are in that above the 1980s and before, so everywhere, even in that corporate as well as banking, government, in all the departments, so totally it was run on that manual scale. So subsequently, post 1990, that LPG, that is liberalization, privatization, and globalization concept was introduced. Everywhere that technology started ruling the world. So now that there is no boundaries in the world. So anywhere, anytime, any point of time, we all can connect, either for personal reasons or for trade reasons or for commerce reasons or for finance reasons or for health. So whatever we can see. So for all this aspect, we can get connected with the globe. So digitally. So at that real-time basis. So that is the situation prevailing now. So everybody, everywhere, we are talking about that digitalization. What is digitalization? How it operates? How it helps the mankind to complete the task on time without any flaws. So all these things are encompassing in this digital revolution. So today's paradigm shift in technological advancement has reshaped the global era of digitalization. So in this digital era, everybody knows that technology is continuously driving change in almost every industry, from this job automation to service digitalization, from virtual collaboration to smart homes, from cloud computing to data analytics. Technology has become an integral and indispensable requirement for society and the business ecosystem. The finance industry is one of the frontline that is rigorously exploring and innovating with the digitalization power in the technology. It is also one of the leading industries to adopt digitalization successfully. The worldwide mass adoption of digital banking under conventional banking practices is one of the most commendable digital transformation of the finance industries. Because comparing that period that before 1980 and today's environment, the volume has been increased manifold in the banking industry, not only in banking, entire financial sector. So having that old practices, it will not suit any purpose as of now. Even to handle that volume, today's that banks are handling. So with that age-old technologies, it is highly impossible to have a control on the systems and control on the services. So that's why that digital is very, very important for the financial sectors. So not only the banks, all the NBFCs and who are all in the banking sector, the finance sectors, they have started using and investing money on this digital environment, and they created the system also to have that digital environment. So especially that even if you see that prior to that 2020, pre-COVID situation was there. So everybody preferred to go to that banks or that financial institutions personally to do their transactions. So post-COVID, the situation also has changed rapidly. People started using the digitalization process. So everywhere now, all these software companies also has given this work from home option to their employees. Likewise, banks, people also would like to have their banking transactions by sitting in their home or in their office and by a touch of a button. That's why all the banks has introduced various apps so as to transact all the banking transactions without visiting the bank branch. So that is the situation now. So government also has taken a lot of initiatives that the digital side. So everywhere that digital has become that day-to-day life of all the individuals. Because moreover, the digital transformation in banking is an essential change to improvise how banks and other financial institutions learn about, interact with, and satisfy the customers' needs. To be more precise, an efficient digital information begins with understanding digital customer behavior, preferences, choices, likes, dislikes, and stated and unstated requirements. Even that recently during that budget session also, everybody knows that our finance minister has talked about that digital currency. So digital currency at any point of time, that will be within a year time, our country is going to have that digital currency also. So that is the situation, or that is the development which is happening in the with the help of that digital innovation, so as to make the life simplified and to give the better services as per the requirements and the needs of the persons who deserves to get this type of services. So in 1980, before 80 and all, the entire banking system was totally manual. Operations, sales, process, financial, monitoring, everything is in the manual only. Now that the system has changed, that it has been now it come to that area of digitalization now. So even if when I started my career in the banking industry, At the time, large number of almost all the transactions were handled manually, recording that transactions, periodically computing that interest, collection of interest, demand, collection, monitoring. So all these activities were done through manual situation only. Now it is by a touch of button. So all the transactions are being handled thanks to that digital as well as that technological revolutions that ruled in the financial sectors. So emerging financial sector is very predominantly utilizing that emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain model, cloud computing, Internet of Things, robotic process automation, and augmented reality, virtual reality, AR, VR. That type of things also being properly utilized within the large scale, so as to cater to the needs of our various stakeholders. So this digital transformation in banking is a cultural, organizational, and operational change being done through the technologies. In this most basic sense, digital transformation is the transition of to digital customer services through the internet mode or cloud mode. In a broader sense, digital transformation means improvement in a wide range of areas related to offerings, process automation, customer experience, data integration, organizational flexibility, and sales. So these type of technological developments cannot see as something new. Bank customers have been moving from traditional branch-based banking to online and mobile alternatives for some decades now. But what changed is that a front-level banker does not, as a in the front-level bankers, they does not need to expertise in policies, credit theories, branch operations, etc., for him to excel in his job. The system takes care of everything, all the back-end operations, that the policies, business rules, everything has been imbibed in the system, so that the frontline staff members, they even without having that much of knowledge, also by touching that button or touching that screen, they can complete their tasks, whatever that has been assigned to them. But what changed to the front level workers is that they have to have that knowledge, the knowledge on the technical side or technological side or this type of digital side. It will help them to understand how to operate and how to complete the tasks and how to give the better efficient services to the customers. So now that everything through online platform, they can do it. So more importantly, since the main functions of a banker is that lending. So accepting deposits, okay. So customers, if you deposit the money, banks can automatically issue the deposits, receipts. There are also, nowadays, it is not in the case of earlier years. Now we have to see in that angle of anti-money laundering and this type of things also banks has to do it. For that purpose, they are also deploying this type of digital front in that segment. More importantly, while lending and the selection of borrowers, nowadays everybody knows that since you are the participants, anyway, you are all having some banking relationships. If you go for the banks to get some loans, the first questions a banker will ask to the proposed prospect is that talked about that bureau score. What is that bureau score? It is a CIBIL score. So what is that CIBIL score? How that CIBIL score is derived? It is based on the credit history or the credit behavior of the particular person. If the particular person is in the habit of getting more and more of taking more and more of loans from the bank, and if that repayment history or repayment behavior is not good, definitely the score will get affected. So based on the score, that banker also can have take a lending position, whether we can lend money to this customer or not. That decision making process will be more easy because of this type of bureau score. So like that, that analytics. So analytics is playing a very, very important role in the banking thing. So to analyze the behavior of the customers, how he earlier loans and all he has been repaid. Suppose if the bank lent the money to that customer whether in future also that repayment will be coming on track. So like that, this analytic department is playing a very important role. So analytics being devised through this digital automation helps the bank to have take a fair lending decisions on this role. So these are all that analysis and the risk management. Nowadays, that risk management also a very, very important tool in the banking and the financial industries. Multi-level validation and the fraud detection system of transactions. So for this type of activities, so banks are very utilizing this digital automation process. So speedy operations and lower transaction times. So for that also that automation and digital innovations help the banks to do the transactions and predictive capabilities. So like that, various in all the day-to-day functions of a financial sector, all the banks and financial institutions, they are utilizing these digital innovations, and more and more of that whatever that the latest or advanced technologies also banks are not minding in spending to acquire this type of technologies, because one way it will help the banks to serve the customer in a better way, flawlessly. Number two, it helps the banks to have that control or monitoring, proper monitoring mechanism on the activities and that lending decisions of that bankers. Number three, on the risk management side, so it is that helps is very, very important role that the digital transformation is playing to understand that what type of risks is getting associated with the type of selection of borrowers and how the risk can be mitigated. All these type of things we can make use of this digital automation process. Like everywhere that even that not only that private sector banks are either in that old private sector or that the new private sector banks or the public sector banks. So all the banks in the banking sector, totally they have moved to the digital era. They are absorbing this type of digital technologies so as to offer a better and flawless customer service to the customers. So that is that very, very important role that digital transformation is playing for in the financial sector. In the same way that today's conference from the morning that conference is going on, I just gone through that agenda items also. So various topics has been discussed. Since that the banks and the financial institutions are the front runners in absorbing this type of technologies to offer better services, I thought that I can also share some of my thought on this financial sector side. I hope that whatever that I have discussed, it will be useful to these participants available here. But banking, other side, that banking and the financial sectors is providing a lot of job opportunities also to that right type of candidates whoever is having this type of technological skill. So the type of possibilities also there, since bank and financial sector is the only area where every year that recruitment is being taken care of. So that situation also, it is also available to open to all the participants who are all available here. I take this to sincere thanks to that organizers for inviting me to this conference to share some of my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll now have the vote of thanks by Ms. Kokila, Assistant Professor, Department of Accounting and Finance.
A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I feel very privileged to propose the vote of thanks for the one-day virtual international conference, Digital Transformation in Finance, Banking and Corporate Sector, a journey towards assimilating Industry 4.0, conducted by IQAC and School of Commerce, Sri Shankarlal Sundarbai Shasan Jain College for Women in collaboration with the University of Madras and Tashkent Institute of Finance, Uzbekistan. I would like to express my sincere thanks to our chief guest, Ms. Zenia Zipek, Dame of Honor International and Head of Tax Risk Analysis at Ministry of Finance, Croatia, for her gracious presence for the inaugural address and sharing her knowledge and experience with us. And I also like to extend my deep sense of gratitude to our guest speakers, delegates, and moderators who joined us today and handled the technical sessions. Also, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our management, principal, vice principal, and all teaching, non-teaching faculties for supporting us to organize the one-day virtual international conference. A special thanks to our valedictory guest, Dr. Islam Kulak, Vice Rector and Professor, Department of Economics, Tashkent Institute of Finance, Uzbekistan, and also Mr. Anbaraj, General Manager, Karur Vysya Bank. And now it's time to thank Professor Dr. Rangarajan, Head, Department of Commerce, University of Madras, and Professor Dr. Shanti, Department of Commerce, University of Madras, who guided and supported us in each and every step which led to the grand success of the conference. And also I thank Mr. Ara Mudan, former Placement Officer, Management Studies, University of Madras, and Ms. Priyanka, the publisher. Thank you so much. I also grateful to the conveners and the organizing committee for the tireless effort in making this event a grand success. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the technical team for their constant support throughout the session. And my dear Shasan family members, a heartfelt thanks for your eager participation and enthusiasm for being a part of this virtual event and supporting us throughout the session. Once again, thank you so much to each and